Hello. Today we will solve a question from the TOEFL reading section, focusing on the read a social media post question type. We will practice understanding everyday notices, identifying rules, instructions, or key conditions, and selecting the most accurate answer based on practical real-life written information. Welcome to another session of our TOEFL reading series. In this lesson, we are going to look at a typical university announcement, the kind you might see on a student portal or a social media feed. These short texts are packed with important dates, instructions, and policies, so learning how to scan them effectively is a crucial skill for the exam. Let's dive in and see how quickly we can find the right answers together. If you're finding these lessons helpful for your exam preparation, please subscribe to the My TOEFL channel. Join us to keep improving your skills with every new video. Crestview University Registrar. The title here is Crestview University Registrar. The most important word to notice is registrar. In a university setting, the registrar is the official or office responsible for keeping student records and managing the enrollment process. Seeing this word tells us immediately that the message will be official and likely related to administrative tasks, such as signing up for classes or checking grades. It sets the context that this is a formal notice regarding your academic status. Attention students, the enrollment period for the fall semester is now open. This first sentence announces the main topic. The phrase, attention students, grabs the reader's focus. The core information is that the enrollment period for the fall semester is now open. This tells us exactly what is happening. Students can start signing up for their classes for the upcoming term right now. You have until Friday, August 23rd, to finalize your course selections. Here we get a specific deadline. The phrase, until Friday, August 23rd, is critical because it tells students the last possible day to act. The action they must complete is to finalize, which means to finish or complete their course selections. This sentence establishes the time limit for the action mentioned in the first sentence. Please log into the student portal to browse available classes and complete your registration. This sentence gives the instructions on how to proceed. Students are told to log in to the student portal, which is the online system. Their tasks are to browse available classes, meaning to look through the list of courses, and finally to complete your registration. This is a direct command or instruction step. We strongly encourage you to meet with your academic advisor before registering to ensure you are on track with your degree requirements. This sentence offers advice. The phrase strongly encourage means this is highly recommended, though not necessarily mandatory. Students should meet with your academic advisor, who is a counselor that helps with school plans. Ideally, this should happen before registering. The reason is to ensure the student is on track, meaning proceeding correctly according to their plan. Advisor schedules can be booked through the same portal. This provides the logistical detail for the advice given in the previous sentence. It tells students that advisor schedules, essentially appointments, can be booked or reserved using the same portal mentioned earlier. It links the advising process to the online system. Verifying your course plan with them can prevent future issues. This explains the benefit of meeting the advisor. Verifying means checking or confirming. By confirming the course plan with an advisor, students can prevent future issues, such as taking the wrong class or missing a graduation requirement. It reinforces why the advice in sentence 4 is important. Students who fail to register by the deadline will face a late registration fee and may have limited course options as popular classes fill up quickly. This is a warning about negative consequences. If students fail to register by the deadline, two things will happen. First, they will face a late registration fee, meaning they have to pay extra money. Second, they may have limited course options because popular classes fill up quickly. This emphasizes the urgency of the deadline. Don't delay, secure your preferred schedule today. This is a closing call to action. The phrase "don't delay" means do not wait. Students are urged to secure or lock in their preferred schedule immediately. For any technical issues with the portal, please contact the IT help desk. Finally, this sentence offers support. If there are technical issues with the website, students are instructed to contact the IT help desk. This separates academic problems, which go to the advisor, from computer problems, which go to IT. Now that we've analyzed the text, let's tackle the first question. This question asks about the main reason for the message. What is the primary purpose of this announcement? The question asks for the primary purpose, which means the main reason why this text was written. We need to identify the central message. The text starts by stating that the enrollment period is now open and gives instructions on how to register. Therefore, the purpose is tied to informing students about this time-sensitive process. Let's take a closer look at option A. To describe new features on the student website, option A suggests the purpose is to describe new features. While the text mentions logging into the student portal, it does not mention anything about the website being new or having new updates. The portal is simply the tool used for the process. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. Now let's take a closer look at option B, to announce the schedule for final examinations. Option B claims the text is about the schedule for final examinations. The text is about the enrollment period for the fall semester, not about exams or testing schedules. This is unrelated to the content. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. Now let's take a closer look at option C, to instruct students on an important enrollment process. Option C states the purpose is to instruct students on an enrollment process. This aligns perfectly with the first sentence. The enrollment period is now open, and the subsequent instructions to complete your registration. The entire text guides students through signing up for classes. This option is correct. Correct. Now let's take a closer look at option D, to introduce new academic counseling staff members. Option D suggests the purpose is to introduce new staff members. The text does mention that you can meet with your academic advisor, but it does not say that these staff members are new or that the purpose of the post is to introduce them. The advisors are mentioned only to help with registration. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. The correct answer is C, because the key expressions in the text directly match this option, while the other choices either provide incomplete information or clearly contradict the passage. Moving on to the second question. This one checks your understanding of specific details regarding rules and penalties. What is a potential consequence of not registering on time? This question asks for a potential consequence of not registering on time. We need to scan the text for words like fail to, late, or deadline to find what happens if a student is late. Sentence 7 explicitly states, students who fail to register by the deadline will face a late registration fee. Let's take a closer look at option A. Students will not be able to graduate that year. Option A says students will not be able to graduate. The text mentions that meeting an advisor helps ensure you are on track, but it does not explicitly state that being late for this specific registration prevents graduation for the year. That is an assumption not supported by the text. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. Now let's take a closer look at option B. Students will be assigned an advisor automatically. Option B suggests students will be assigned an advisor automatically. The text says advisor schedules can be booked, implying students must take action to see one. There is no mention of automatic assignment as a penalty for being late. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. Now let's take a closer look at option C. Students will have to pay an additional amount of money. Option C states students will have to pay an additional amount of money. This corresponds directly to sentence 7, which warns that students will face a late registration fee. A fee is an additional payment. This option is correct. Correct. Now let's take a closer look at option D. Students will get priority in the next registration period. Option D claims students will get priority later. The text actually says late students may have limited course options, which is the opposite of having priority or a good selection. There is no reward mentioned for being late. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. The correct answer is C, because the key expressions in the text directly match this option, while the other choices either provide incomplete information or clearly contradict the passage. Finally, let's look at the third question. This asks about a suggestion given in the text before completing the main task. What is recommended that students do before they select their classes? The question asks what is recommended for students to do before they select their classes. We need to find the part of the text that gives advice or suggestions. Sentence 4 begins with, "We strongly encourage you," which signals a recommendation and specifically mentions doing something before registering. Let's take a closer look at option A. Pay their tuition fees for the upcoming semester. Option A suggests students should pay their tuition fees. While paying fees is part of college, this text does not mention tuition payment as a prerequisite for selecting classes. It only mentions a fee if you are late. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. Now let's take a closer look at option B. Get advice from a designated school official. Option B says, students should get advice from a designated school official. Sentence 4 explicitly encourages students to meet with your academic advisor. An academic advisor is a designated school official who gives advice. This matches the recommendation perfectly. This option is correct. Correct. Now let's take a closer look at option C. Contact the technical support team for assistance. Option C suggests contacting the technical support team. The text says to contact the IT help desk only for technical issues. It is not a general recommendation for all students before they select classes, only for those with problems. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. Now let's take a closer look at option D. Choose their preferred courses on the online system. Option D says to choose their preferred courses. This is the act of registering itself, not what is recommended before registering. The question asks for the preliminary step, meeting the advisor, not the final step. This option is incorrect. Incorrect. The correct answer is B, because the key expressions in the text directly match this option, while the other choices either provide incomplete information or clearly contradict the passage.